Hey, I didn't see you there. Oh, I was just getting a snack. After my semester's over, I figured it'd be cool to reward myself. I've actually been thinking about that a lot. School, what it's like. I've been a lot more confident since attending school, a lot more knowledgeable. I feel like I've really grown as a person. And I'd like that benefit for other people. I'd like them to be able to feel safe and happy when they're learning. And that kind of brings me to an interesting topic that I think I'd like to talk to you about. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Grant Morton. I'm working on my bachelor for social work. Remember that we talked about? Yeah. And I figured I've been learning a little bit about school violence, and I thought maybe I'd pick your brain about that, if that's okay. Great. Yeah, so school violence can be described kind of in two ways. There's community violence, like gang fighting or robbery or assault or carjacking that just happens near the campus. And then there's more focused school violence that actually happens on campus or is directed at students. And that's kind of what I wanted to focus a little bit more on when we talk about this today with school shootings. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard of that, but it's a little bit more recent. And I don't pretend to know better than anyone else. I just thought that I should talk to you about it because unfortunately it is a tragedy, and I think spreading awareness is a good way to help, if that's okay with you. Good? Good. Great. So maybe you don't know when the first school shooting happened. At least the modern ones that we kind of know today happened at Columbine in 1999. It was a terrible tragedy, and I don't mean make light of any of these. I just find trying to be more upbeat helps me talk about the whole thing, if that's okay. Great. How many have there been since then? Well, according to Brady United, there have been more than 390 school shootings since 1999. And according to the K through 12 school shooting database, there have been at least 99 incidences of gun violence on or near school campuses this year in 2025. I know, it's crazy. And we're able to help in any way that we can, but still, unfortunately, 203 students have sadly passed away, and at least 441 students have also been injured. And no, I'm not trying to get political on you, but I do really think that this is important. And this goes further than parties, don't you think? It's protecting our children. Yeah, obviously. How often does it happen, really? Well, the K through 12 school shooting database has also compiled a list of gun violence incidents at schools over time, and they show that in 1999, the year that Columbine happened, there were 23 incidents, and in 2024, I believe, there were 349. So, kind of a big jump. And I know you do bring up a good point, mental health. Yeah, mental health is a big issue in America, but actually most people with mental health issues don't enact violence against other people. Yeah, I know. It's really interesting. You would think that would be higher, but no, really, the main risk factors of suffering violence or being threatened with a weapon at school, marginalized groups, so people of color, members of the LGBT community, we are much more likely to be threatened with a firearm. Women, yeah, you're right. That was actually declared by the Sandy Hook Promise website, named after another tragic event, to hopefully spread awareness that I am now referring to try to spread more awareness today. Yeah, I know. We can work on that together when we get out into the community. The main thing to look for that the Sandy Hook Promise has identified is almost all school shooters have shared some kind of concerning or threatening message, whether it be a social media post or telling a friend, and almost 75% of school shooters disclose that information as someone who failed to report. There are other environmental factors too. Firearms stored in the house, Again, I'm not trying to get political on you, but 68% of gun-related incidents near schools have involved guns from home or a friend or a family member. It's also from the Sandy Hook database. Now, I have guns myself. I use them on a regular basis, whether that be a day out on the range or hunting in any of Missouri's hunting seasons with my family. But I still have had imparted on me just the massive importance of firearm safety. But that's not always the case. An estimated 4.6 million children in the United States live in a household where firearms are not only kept loaded, they are often kept unlocked, which leads to a lot more risk. And school shootings have more of an impact than just that day or the injuries or the scars that they leave. They leave mental and emotional ones too. Students who have survived school shootings often have mental health issues or learning delays. They have a higher rate of using antidepressants. There is a drop in enrollment and decline in test scores. And there's an increase in absences and needing to repeat grades, and there's just overall less likely to graduate. I've actually read that from the Stanford Institute. Yeah, it's insane, I know. We are doing some things about it, though. That's good news, right? I mean, you make an excellent point. There's legislation, there's the gun control laws that are very controversial, so they're not often very successful, and we could arm teachers, you're right. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of evidence to support that. There are things that schools do, yeah. There are our school and intruder drills, and some schools use metal detectors, even though that's not necessarily consistent practice, so I don't know how effective that might be. Arming teachers, yeah, well, that's not effective because only 1.2% of school shooters have actually been stopped by an armed bystander. The Brady Institute actually showed me that when I was reading. And from that same website, they actually talk about how 75% of teachers actually oppose being armed, so most teachers don't even want that to pass anyway. Yeah, well, it all goes back to what I talked about earlier. We can do things with proper firearm safety. That's actually a main thing that the Brady Institute wants to talk about and wants to wants to advocate for. They want to show people, and communication with students, especially through programs like End Friendly Fire or Asking Saves Kids, that kind of helps educate them about what's going on and hopefully listens to them a little bit more when things go wrong. What can you and I do? Well, do what we're doing right now. We can talk. When we get out at the civic level, we can vote for maybe better gun safety laws or against firearms in school or being near school, supporting protective programs like the ones I've mentioned. Well, you're right. It's not like there's one solution that would fix everything. I wish that there was. And yeah, I know. I'm not trying to take anybody's guns. I think that's something we could do. There's other things, but I don't pretend to know everything. But it is a tragedy. It is, as much as I am making jokes, it is something that does really bother me as someone who actually used to want to be a teacher. Part of what scared me about being a teacher is I was going to go in and I was going to have to do drills to teach my students how to hide from someone trying to hurt them. And with how it affects students, even if they are successful and hide and survive, the impact is too great, and I think that we need to just beg for change, do anything that we can, and that's part of the reason why I'm talking to you, because we're friends, right? And we both want people to be safe and happy. But that's really all I have to say, and I'm hoping that maybe after we talk about this, I'm certainly going to go talk to other people that maybe you do too. For now, thanks for listening, and thank you for your time.